Hello and welcome to the final of the men's team event here at the 888.com Whirlpool Championships in Blackpool. 14 countries starting out in the hope of capturing this title. We're left with just 2 teams fighting it out over 15 frames to decide who will become this year's champions. It's England up against Northern Ireland. I'm delighted to say with me in the studio for this one the president of the World 8-Ball Federation, Mr. Joe Fanta, coming all the way from Australia. And Joe, first of all, what happened to Australia?
Well, Australia had quite a good year as comparison to being in the wilderness for the last 3 years. We actually played in the semi-final and got beaten in a nail-biter, 11-10 by Northern Ireland.
Commiserations for that. Let's just go through the 2 teams in the final today. First of all, England. Joe, pick out a few names for us there.
Well, that's a star-studded lineup. Jason Twist, Phil Harrison, Lee Kendall, old campaigner Keith Brewer, and of course Gareth Potts. Star-studded lineup.
They got there in style, didn't they? Top of the league. And then in the semi-finals against Wales, very comfortable indeed, 11-5. Let's not forget they've won this event for the last 5 years. They're up against Northern Ireland. They've done well to get here, Joe.
Yes, very convincing to get there, finish top of the league and convincing win in the semi-final.
They're going to need their big names, Ronan McCarthy especially. They came through a playoff against Ireland in the semi-finals, just edging out Joe's Australia by the odd frame to get through to the final against England. It promises to be a tremendous match over 15 frames. I'll hand you over to our commentary team. And first of all, Mr. Tony Holgate.
Well, here we are in the World Team Final. England versus Northern Ireland. It's going to be England's Jason Twist to break off this opening frame. This promises to be a classic encounter, and in the commentary box with me I have the captain of the Australian team. You're edged out on the odd frame by Northern Ireland, Alec Everardis. This promises to be a great final.
Yeah, that was a great match, Tony. To lose 11-10 was a bit heartbreaking, but in the end they played very well, so we should be in with a great match here.
And also in the commentary box, our referee, Mr. Sean Baker. And Sean, these team matches can get a bit noisy out there, can't they?
They certainly can, Tony. It takes a little bit of concentration when you're out in the arena during the qualifying rounds of these championships. And certainly Ireland nearly raised the roof on the Hilton Hotel when they won through against Australia in that nail-biting finish. Danny Kinney clearing up to take the team into the final.
Well, Jason Twist taking that easy yellow into the corner. There's a Northern Ireland team and supporters sat behind them. Looking very stone-faced at the moment. I know when Australia played Northern Ireland, Alec, there was a fair bit of niggling in that match.
I'll tell you what, they had a lot to say then, but they haven't got much to say at the moment with Jason Twist out there looking to like break and finish on this first frame.
Well, there's Jason Twist just showing you where he wants to be with the cue ball. On that yellow, immediately to the left of the black. And this is why they put the 2-time world champion on early doors. And he's playing as well Ronan McCarthy, who has not come out of his chair, and McCarthy is widely regarded as Northern Ireland's best player.
That's right, Tony, and I think Ronan might not be even getting his hand on the table here. One good shot here from Jason. Oh yes, that looks perfect position.
There's McCarthy, not even going to have a shot. And that will hurt the Northern Irish heads. Twist now with the black ball into the centre. This is a dream start for England. And the black ball's down, and it's England. Jason Twist, and they see him shouting at his teammates. They lead Northern Ireland by 1-0. Well, what a great finish from Twist, but Ronan McCarthy there for Northern Ireland never even got out of his chair. It's going to be a tall order for Northern Ireland. They've got to get on the table. And Jason Twist, very happy indeed with that, as we'll look again at Twist. Last couple of balls in the black. Well, his cue ball control was sublime. as always, and the Tornado slotting the black easily into the middle pocket. And there we see Sam Newell for Northern Ireland.
Second frame, Northern Ireland to break.
Just shook hands with Phil Harrison. And it's going to be Sam Newell to break. And he needs a ball off this break. Give their supporters something to cheer about.
He's made one, he made two by the look of it, maybe two reds.
Red ball's potted.
We'll have another look at Big Sam's break.
Yeah, it was one in the middle and one in the bottom right. And, yellows could be the ball here, Tony, I think, with that yellow over the bottom left-hand pocket.
He got one of the best averages for Northern Ireland through the round-robin stages. Cracked on up to about 63, 64%, which at this level is very high indeed.
Yellow ball's in play.
Takes yellows. Some of these Northern Ireland players, they're not very experienced on the TV. Sam's definitely one that's never been in front of the cameras before. And as you know, the England players, all except for one, all been here before. And Karl Boyes, who will be playing later for England, he's the only one that's never played on the big stage. But it's Sam Newell. And this is a pretty confident performance, Ace.
He looks to be handling it quite well, actually. He's everything he's looked at lining up has gone in, and seems quite comfortable out there.
Well, I know you've played out there in the big stage in these team matches, Alec, and what actually goes through your mind? You know, you captain your side. What do you tell your teammates before you go out?
Well, it's all about settling as quickly as possible, just trying to get used to the environment out there. Get some information off the players that have been out there, how fast the table is, what's going on out there, things that you don't actually notice when you're sitting down because you're so tense and ready to go and nervous. And if you don't have them nerves in your stomach, the butterflies flapping around, well, you're not actually ready, they say. So it's how you control them in the end as to how you go out on that table.
And there's an important shot coming up here. Sam's not quite 100% on position on that ball. He's just taken into the middle.
A good shot there by Sam Newell. The Northern Ireland crowd, they're going to be the noisiest. If Sam makes this yellow, needs to take his time a bit more. This black to level the match. In it goes, and Sam Newell of Northern Ireland. What a great finish for his TV debut. Irish eyes are smiling at the moment. It's 1-1 here in Blackpool. Well, what a great finish there from Sam Newell. Just what the Irish needed. Somebody to come in, pick up the baton. And he finished these with great confidence. And that was very well played indeed. Well, next up, we have Karl Boyes from England. He's the only player in England side that's never played on TV. And he'll be playing against Danny Kinney. And Danny Kinney's one of the most talented players ever to come out of Northern Ireland. But it's going to be Karl Boyes to break. And he's a local lad, Karl Boyes. He lives about 10 or 15 miles up the road. And he's made 3 reds.
Red ball's
he's actually potted 4 reds off the break. What an unbelievable break. One in the middle, one H&M corners, another one in the centre.
I actually played Karl in a county match last year in our region, and he did a similar thing to me. Potted 4 reds and actually 2 yellows off the break, and I didn't even see the table.
Well, Ace, I'm not sure he'll take the reds.
I can't see a finish on this opening visit for Karl here. With the reds blocked up in the bottom right-hand corner and the yellows covering the reds, so really he's just got to try and control the frame.
Yellow ball's nominated.
Well, you see he's nominated the yellows. Actually pushing a bit on the time.
Yellow ball's in play.
Well, he had to hurry up and knock one in. I suspect he was up around the 50-odd second mark.
Yeah, I think you'll see Karl. He's a very aggressive player, Karl is, and he won't be hanging around the table. If he gets half a chance here and he looks at being able to develop those 2 yellows on the right hand side at the bottom of the table, he will do so.
Well, he's going to have to play some safety in a minute. As you can see, those 2 yellows blocked by the reds at the bottom. Well, I wonder if he's going to try and crash in off this yellow in the centre of the table. It's a risky shot, though.
That's right, he does have an angle there, and but he must make sure of the pot, obviously, because he wouldn't want to leave Danny on the reds there with only 3 reds left to pot.
And Karl Boyce decided to go in off that one in the middle, and I don't think that was the right shot, and now he's left with nothing, really.
I think he opted for the easier pot as opposed to the better shot to break them yellows out there. He sort of ducked out of that, as we call it.
Yeah, I think you could be right, Alec. But now you have to say that now Karl's knocked away 3 of those yellows, that reds look pretty good now.
30 seconds. Red ball's in play.
Well, I don't really think he knew what to do there, and he just played a shot for the sake of playing one.
Yeah, there's certainly better options there. Why not just chip one of the yellows out and leave the white on the top rail? At least putting one of the yellows into play and leaving Danny nothing to play for.
Well, Danny Kinney just rolling his red up to the top of the table. Nearly left the cue ball in the corner.
You see, looking at this Northern Ireland lineup, Tony, they've certainly gone out with the big guns up front with Ronan and Sam Newell, and I think we've got Drew Sloan to come next, and that's all the big name players, you know, the ones that we recognise from past years at these championships. So they're looking to go out and get an early lead, I think, and put the pressure onto England.
There's Raymond Conway in view. He played me in the early qualifiers and beat me 7-6, which I wasn't too impressed with. But he's a very confident player, Tony. He runs around the table, very sure of himself on the pot out. So he's someone we can look forward to seeing.
Yes, well, again, it'll also be interesting to see how he reacts from the TV cameras. But boys, really, I don't think he's knows what he's doing at the moment. He's putting that yellow down the bottom of the table, but he hasn't put Kinney under any pressure whatsoever. He could have knocked one of those yellows out.
I don't think that was the opportune time to get one of the yellows out, Tony. I think it was trying to just maybe put one of the yellows in an area where he could put it near the pocket to sort of get an angle to break into them yellows. Danny's basically just waiting for his biding his time. He's just waiting to jump on them reds.
Well, Karl Boyce is just looking at that yellow in the middle of the table, thinking about trying to slot it in front of the reds at the bottom. And now he's thinking, if he's got the weight right, that's a brilliant shot from Karl Boyce.
Well, that certainly gives him an option now. Depending on what Danny Kinney tries here, it gives him an option, a safety net of when he tries to split those 2 yellows out. He's got the safety of the yellow near the corner pocket, blocking the 2 reds. So it just depends what Danny's thinking about here.
I think a good option here for Danny might be just to put the red over the pocket in the top left-hand corner, which would make Karl play back into that corner, maybe give him a better option. Oh dear.
Well, the red ball seemed to fly straight back out the pocket. Looked like the red went straight into the heart of the pocket, and the pocket spat it straight back out again. Let's have another look. Well, the red ball went straight back into the pocket and back out again.
It appeared to jump actually as it got to the pocket, and it's actually hit the pocket rather than sort of going down. It's actually gone upwards.
Foul to visit.
Well, pure force that kept that ball out.
He just committed a foul there. I don't know if the umpires, I think Karl's just picked that himself and called the foul on himself.
No, I think the umpire did. Sorry, getting to your speak now, Alec. The referee did call a foul.
Sorry, ref.
No problem, player.
And he's got rid of his first red. He's going to have to play this shot now and try and kick both out. The same visit. You can see Danny Kinney playing with a lot of force here. Well, this is going to be a big roll of the dice. Cue ball's going to be jumping. Well, he's got the reds out, and where they're going to land.
Second visit.
He'd just so love to have that red just a bit further away from that jaw of the middle pocket.
I'm not convinced that goes, Tony. I'm not convinced that goes. I'm pretty sure if it went, he'd have been down and played it by now.
Well, I think it just tickles in, but at the end of the day, he can't get the cue ball back for the red ball. He's going to have to play it softly and play a double. Failing that, he'll be cutting up in the top corner. Well, he went for the harder option, which is the top left-hand corner, and hit the angle of the middle pocket.
How often does that happen, Tony? You always catch that the second jaw down.
Well, he was a little bit unlucky there, Danny Kinney, where the ball's finished after he kicked them out, because it was a hard shot to get them both out of that little corner that Karl Boys was controlling, but yellows are all there now. Just pots this one at the top of the table. He's got an easy plant down into the bottom right.
Yeah, the only thing about that plant, Tony, he's going to have to get absolutely spot on, because you ever see that yellow is actually in the left-hand sort of half of the pocket, if you like. And it'd be quite easy for him to knock the one in and the other one just to go away from the pocket a little bit and just make it a little bit harder for him. So he's got to be absolutely spot on here from Karl Boys.
He just wants to play the yellow near the cushion and keep it tight into the round. That just double kiss the yellow in. He'll also hold his second yellow over the pocket. He doesn't want to play this wide. He's played it pretty good. Wouldn't have liked to play it any wider than that, would he? The black's in the middle of the table. And I think Karl Boys will settle for that. Just a little cut into the middle now for the Englishman.
It's a bit awkward queuing over that red, Tony. Just set himself.
But down goes the black, and England restore their lead. It's 2-1 to England against Northern Ireland. And it took Karl Boys a while to win that frame, but when he did, Sloane it is to break. A quiet man from Northern Ireland. Just look what he's done with the cue ball.
Yeah, he's lost the cue ball onto the floor there, Tony.
And what happens there, Sean?
Open table.
Well, rather than being the one visit normally for in-off, the cue ball goes off the table. It's two visits. And cue ball in hand, anywhere behind the baulk line.
Well, Ian Hubbard now has got to be quite happy with that. As you say, Sean, we'll see Drew's white hurdle the table over Beaches. And down onto the floor it went. Of course, Ian Hubbard had a choice whether to pick the cue ball up or get a sand iron to chip it back onto the table.
30 seconds.
He's elected to put it just behind the baulk line now, and like you say, Sean, he's got the two visits rather than one. And that could spell disaster for Northern Ireland.
I mean, that break, Tony, it's a big advantage, and to do that, open the balls up, then give two shots away, that's disastrous for Northern Ireland.
Well, there could be a bit of nerves there from Sloane. He's never played on TV, once again, like many of his teammates. Whereas Hubbard's been there before. Very experienced England international.
Also a very good cueman. He's much improved over the last probably 3-4 years. He's come from being sort of a very steady county player now right to the top of the international tree. He's highly ranked on the UK tour, and he's certainly done well for England in this tournament.
Well, he still holds that visit in hand as Sloane looks on. And Really, Alec, you can't see Hubbard failing to finish from here.
Well, with the 2 shots, no, but the way the balls are situated, he's got a little bit of work to do. You know, there's the red that's closest to the black, which is only going to go into one pocket, and he might choose to break it out or try and get on it, but there's no certainty
30
there, Tony.
seconds.
Well, he's taking his time here, is Ian Hubbard.
Yeah, you heard the timekeeper there call the 30-second warning.
Never gets flustered, Ian Hubbard. Now will the red pass the black into the left-hand centre? If it will, he can still keep position. There's Lee Kendall, the England captain. Looking a bit nervous. And along the line you've got Keith Brewer.
Hasn't Keith been here a long time?
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
30 seconds.
Keith Brewer has been here since these championships started back in 1993. And the cue ball was flirting with danger there. Caught the angle of that corner pocket.
Former world champion there, sat with the England team. Karl Morris.
Yes, actually didn't make the team this year either, Sean. Didn't get through the trials, but he's still kept in touch with all his teammates, and he's right there at the forefront.
A player like Karl Morris not making it. Geez, I'm glad I don't have to go through the England players to get through the Australian side.
No, it's the most competitive team in the world. Try and get into their ranks. A wealth of quality.
I noticed that your face keeps appearing at these championships, Alec, every year in, year out. Is it tough to get into your side then? Or is it quite straightforward for yourself?
Well, I've got to go through the same criteria every year. I've got to play the players and get the results on the board. So I think my experience from coming at the world titles
30 seconds.
certainly make it a lot easier for me to get through.
Oh, Hubbard. This is a very tough shot here. He's using his extra visit, but where's he put the cue ball?
Visit.
He snookered himself, and Drew Sloan looks like he might be able to get out of his chair. And we will get a look at him unless Hubbard flukes this red out of the snooker.
I think what he was trying to do was just nudge into that yellow, Tony, when he played that shot, because he certainly played it with enough pace. It wasn't like he was just trying to dolly the red onto the side rail, if you like, to leave the cue ball above it. I think he's actually played to run into it and leave himself on it. But no, it's a very poor shot there from Ian.
30 seconds.
Well, nothing easy now for Hubbard. Going to try and bounce the cue ball off this side cushion, and he can go anywhere. But nearly went in the corner as well. But
Yellow
now
ball's in
Drew
play.
Sloan. Now here he comes, the most unorthodox cueist, I'd say, probably in this final. Stands very high off his cue. A very still cue action. And you hear Ronan McCarthy saying, "Shot, Drew." Obviously agreed with the act of safety that he's just done.
Yeah, well, that certainly makes it very, very tough for Ian to get out of, but more so if he does miss this and passes on the 2 visits. I can't see a problem ball at all there, Tony.
No, that's right.
Well, if Northern Ireland wanted anybody in this position now to get them back to the match, it's
30
this man.
seconds.
They don't call him the Iceman for nothing, the Northern Irish. He is certainly a very, very steady player, very cool under pressure.
Just don't let him break.
Foul. 2 visits.
Probably playing the deliberate foul, just making sure Sloan going to waste one of his first visits. Sloan just seeing if he can maybe cut that yellow into the right-hand centre. Very close with the cue ball to it. He's having a look.
The problem with doing that, Tony, is he's not really got any control on the cue ball. And he's just got to be a little bit careful that he doesn't go flying.
30 seconds.
He might just brush off the side of this and bring the cue ball into open play. No need to be rash. He's in control of this frame.
Second visit.
Well, he wasn't far away, was he?
It was still a free option. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And here with all the yellows all accessible, there's no reason why he shouldn't clear this table here, Tony.
Well, he's a very tough opponent to play against, Drew Sloan. There you see the chin miles away from the cue.
Oh.
Unbelievable. But has he left him on the red? I don't think he can get past the pot it.
I think he can, Tony. He's just tried to cheat that a little bit, so he didn't hit the yellow that was right next to that ball, and wow, that's a bad miss there.
Well, I think Hubbard's going to have to bend the cue ball around this yellow to pot it in the corner.
Bend them like Beckham.
Well, no, he can just get through. Well, Sloan must be kicking himself. And this is one that's got away from Northern Ireland as Hubbard sets himself up for the easy black. Down it goes, and England march on. They now lead Northern Ireland by 3 frames to 1.
Well, there's an opportunity gone missing, Tony. You can't do that to the England team. You can't be giving frames back like that. Jeepers.
Well, Sloan took off his glasses, hoping nobody will recognise him after that miss. And Hubbard got to be pleased that he got back to the table. And that was where Hubbard just tried to set himself up.
Second.
Set himself up for snooker. If Red hadn't hit that black, it'd have gone in. But there's Sloan's catastrophic miss. And Hubbard just had to pot the easy black into the corner.
So it was certainly a big miss, that was, and now we're possibly into the people that we don't know too much about here, Tony. Certainly at the highest level of the World Championships.
Well, Lee Kendall is up next, the England captain himself.
This is where the problem starts, Tony, when England start getting up. They're 3-1 up now, and very, very hard to stop. It's Gary Clark struggling, well, struggling with the Irish team. They've really got to pull something out, and when you're playing the English captain, he's not captain for nothing.
That's right. It's Kendall to break. I know Gary Clark, promising young pool and snooker player back in Northern Ireland. It's his first time here as a senior. He has played for Northern Ireland Juniors team.
With an off there, very uncharacteristic.
One visit, open table.
For Lee Kendall.
Time running.
Oh, while Alec is having his first day with the new lips. It's Kendall that's committed the foul. And now Gary Clark comes to the table. He's like a jack-in-the-box, this lad. Very edgy, nervy competitor, but he's a great potter. He was actually in the bar the other night before this match saying, I'm going to be the best player in the world, and he's quite a character. If he does win, you'll see some emotion, I can tell you.
Well, he's certainly got an opportunity here to clear the reds, Tony.
And he's just galloping round the table.
A little smile there as well to himself, Tony, as he went round. He thinks he's got these balls, perhaps. He certainly got a great opportunity here to get Ireland right back in this match.
And he's like a cat on hot coals. Playing the red in the centre. Doesn't want to screw back too far. And that looks pretty good. He could just roll this red down into the bottom left-hand corner, bring the cue ball forward and then attack the 2 reds just to the left of the black.
He could play the plant on the ball. It's just to the red that's just to the left of the black, to the right-hand corner, and possibly leave himself then on the other red into the left-hand corner.
Well, Gary Clark looks like he's aiming quite low on the cue ball. Now he's played the roll. Now he can actually play the plant with the red that's directly next to the black ball. Just use the cue ball to nudge into the black and kick it into open space, and he'll stay on the other red. He's made that one. And the black goes in the centre. Just wait for the emotion if he gets these.
He'll also go in the left-hand corner pocket, so that's where he may be looking at putting this.
Well, he has had a look at that, and I don't know. I think he could have held off the ball in the corner. He wants that cue ball to slow down. He's going to have to take this red. If it goes past the yellow in the top left-hand corner. He's having a look now. Can't afford to take it in the middle.
If he's a good snooker, as you suggest, Tony, this may not be such a tough shot for him, but look at that. That is tight.
Well, just how tight that is, and under pressure. First time on TV. This shot is huge. He's made it very difficult for himself. Oh, and he's unlucky.
Yellow ball's in play.
But you have to say, I think he chose the wrong shot when he took the ball over the bag. He could have held for that one. And this red was so tight in the corner. I thought it was there for a split second. I'm sure Gary Clark did.
You notice there was a little bit of a shake of the hand as well, Tony, when he had his hand down on the table. He's obviously, as you suggest, a little bit nervous.
Well, this is one man you don't want to miss your last ball against, because Gary Clark is not going to see that red again. He's now looking at where he's going to leave the cue ball. He's just going to bump this yellow out, stop the cue ball behind the black and that big group of yellows in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I think if that red hadn't finished quite so close to the pocket, I think you'd have seen Lee go for the finish there, but he's just trying to maybe get the safety of two visits.
Yeah, Gary's in big trouble here. I think he might even be trying to massey this, but unless he clips it really fine and get a bit of side off that top rail, if he can get the white to the right-hand side of the table, he's got half a chance of cutting it back over to this bottom left-hand corner, Tony.
Well, he can swing the cue ball round there, as you can see. But he's got to be careful. If he doesn't swing that cue ball enough and he catches that cushion just before the red, he'll go in off this.
Foul.
Oh, what on earth has he done?
Two visits.
Well, he's gone for the swerve, but he forgot to get around the black first. He really hasn't raised the butt of the cue enough to get around that. That's a very strange shot.
We can only put it down to nerves. He's pulling a face, but he did have a real chance in this frame.
Well, the nerves, well, that's one of the first things that goes. You start to forget about thinking. You don't actually think about what's going on out there, and if you're out there for the first time, yes, it's very tough.
30 seconds.
Well, apart from Jason Twist when he broke and went out against Ronan McCarthy, Northern Ireland have had plenty of chances in this final.
Lee Kendall here is going for the ball. It's not the easiest starting ball, this isn't, and he's missed that. He's missed that by quite a way.
That nearly landed on the M6. Miles away from the pocket.
Yes, we can have a laugh in here, Tony, but we know how tough it is out there.
Oh, extremely. But Kendall, probably one of the most experienced men that's out there playing. But you still fancy him to get these.
Oh, what about the black? The black looks a bit tough. Is that touching the cushion there?
I think he can get right behind that and he can just tickle it into the middle pocket. There you see it will go in the centre, but you've got to be right behind it and play it very delicately indeed.
Oh, I don't think I'd be attempting to get behind it, Tony. I think you'll see Lee trying to knock it off. He's got options here. He might even be trying to get it off right now.
30 seconds.
He's got to be a little bit careful. He tries to knock it off. If he just get too fine a contact on it, as Tony said, it only wants a little tickle there and it could find its way into the middle pocket long before all the yellow balls have disappeared.
Well, Kendall is going to take his time, but he's now looking to just play this off the black into the centre. Maybe just kick the black into the open.
30 seconds.
There you hear the 30 seconds time called. No, he opted to just pot the clean ball.
I think it looks a little bit too far away from the pocket for that shot, Tony.
No, I think he's going to try it this time. He's right behind it with the yellow lined up straight on half ball black.
Well, I think it's harder from this side though, Ace.
Not if the black's a bit far back from the centre pocket. It depends on where it's sitting next to the jaw.
Well, the danger is if he does play it off the black, the double kiss, he could knock the black out, miss the pot of the yellow, and leave Gary Clark in.
30 seconds.
It's a good shot of that there. I think he's going to do what we suggested yet. Just moved it enough now. He's fetched it out, so that will go into that middle pocket very easily now.
I'll have to show you how to play that shot one day, Tony.
Well, thanks for that, Alec. Lee Kendall now with these two yellows. I don't want to remind you of our Irish team beating Australia, by the way. Sorry, did I play you in that game? No, I'm only joking. Lee Kendall now then. This is a match in hand. We're all out of this tournament. This is the final. Just going to drag the cue ball back behind the black ball. Well, I'm not sure he wanted to leave it that thin. Well, he just made this a little bit hard. He wanted to be square behind it, but you still got to fancy Kendall to get this, haven't you, Alec?
Will he go for it? I don't know if he will go for that black. Is there another option, maybe straight up the top or a snooker?
I don't think he's got the option of the snooker. That cue ball looks extremely close to the right-hand rail. And if it is, what he'd have to do is have to contact the black, and then the black would have to hit a rail, or the cue ball would have to hit another rail.
Well, the white's not touching.
The white isn't frozen, no, so he's going for this anyway.
Well, he's gone in the corner. It's a great shot from Kendall. Down goes the black. And England now march on into a 4-1 lead thanks to their captain, Lee Kendall. And Gary Clark goes back after having a chance. England 4, Northern Ireland 1 here in Blackpool. And now we've got Keith Brewer from England, the old campaigner, versus Raymond Conway from Northern Ireland. There's Brewer, looking quietly confident, and Raymond Conway, another TV debut. And Conway's going to be breaking away.
Sixth frame, Northern Ireland to break, trailing by 4 frames to 1.
Frame number 6. Here comes the Conway smash. Very attacking player, this man from Northern Ireland. But he needs something off the break, and he's not got it.
Open table.
But just look at the cue ball, Tony. It's sitting right on that yellow. Now whether Keith can get past that yellow to the red. It looks like a touching ball from there.
Touching the yellow ball. Time running.
And there you hear our referee Steve Brooker calling touching ball. So now he has to play away from the yellow.
And providing he contacts the cushion is not a problem. What he might actually try and do here, Tony, he could try and come off a cushion and pot a red if he was so wished.
Well, whichever route Keith Brewer takes here, it's going to be risky.
30 seconds.
I don't think Keith's going to take any risks. He's going to play this white and leave it down on the top cushion and make it almost impossible to pot the next ball. He's not going to be playing anything risky at all.
Wherever he puts that cue ball, he's going to have to leave something. Okay, degrees of difficulty can differ, but there's obviously going to be some pot available.
Open table.
And there you see, Conway now has a chance. He could play a cut with the red into the centre, the right-hand side, or he could even attack the yellows. And he's a very good potter.
I think there's a yellow towards the bottom right-hand corner that will go. He might just be able to pass the ball to the middle of the table to get to that ball. Yeah, and as you see, it does go into that corner pocket.
I'm not sure Brewer wanted him
30
to have
seconds.
this opportunity. Oh, that's a bad shot.
Open table.
Conway.
Yeah, I don't agree with the roll-up from 7.5, 8 foot away. He wouldn't be rolling any ball on any table at that pace.
No, as good as these match tables are, Alec, you're right. That was the time to punch that ball with a little bit of pace.
Yellow ball's in play.
Like Kendall before him, he's one of the steady men of the England side, not one to be tangled with.
Well, unfortunately for Ray, he's had his opportunity, and I think Keith will finish these right here and right now.
Yeah, Keith's certainly a very steady player. He doesn't rush either. Not one of the the young guns of England who run round the table. He just takes his time. He thinks about everything he's going to do, uses his minute, and gets down and plays.
Well, Brewer played a decent shot there, got the cue ball into the middle of the table, and I'll tell you what, the difference between the two teams here is completely is pressure. Northern Ireland look nervous, and the England side, they've all been here before, except for Karl Morris, who came out, played a decent frame, but why wouldn't he when all around him is world champions and superb QS?
30 seconds.
And they look quietly confident they're going to retain their title.
It was a strange shot there from Keith. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do there by punching it and coming back into that yellow. It was a shot fraught with danger. He could have quite easily left himself tucked up against that same yellow from the start of the frame.
Yeah, I don't understand it myself, Sean. He's got control of it. He's got the balls, ball over the pocket there. He could have played a cannon onto it, onto the corner ball, or anything really. Now he's left himself with a semi-tough pot and losing the white a bit.
30 seconds.
Oh, that's a great shot there for Brewer.
He's back into position now in that one shot. That's the difference with these class players. They might get out of position, but they can play a better shot the next one to get back into position.
Seconds.
So makes them beautiful to watch.
Yeah, what you sometimes find with, I'm going to say lesser players, but the more experienced players, they get out of position on one shot, and then they get more out of position and more out of position on the successive shots, and eventually they get into an impossible situation where they just can't pot a ball, and the experienced players step in.
You're dead right there, Sean.
Well, this match is in danger of turning into a rout. As England storm towards a 5-1 lead. Brewer's just got to get rid of this lash yellow into the centre.
Well, Ireland have had the chances, Tony. They've certainly had the chances, and they've not been taking them.
And just look where Brewer's left the cue ball. Not only has he got a bridge over, but he's going to have to stretch across the table. I think the equipment might be coming out here. And Steve Brooker. Which one do you think is going to go for, Sean?
It's he termed it the normal spider to begin with.
Time running.
I don't know whether he might. Keith. Now that's an old head. That's Keith. Rather than trying to use the butt end of the rest there and try and nudge it up to the red, he's actually gone to the bridge end, positioned it almost exactly where he wants it to be, and he can just put his cue down now and not worry about getting close to that red with the bridge and giving a foul.
Still looks a bit unsteady to me. But this black for 5-1. And he's missed it. And it's a very hard shot Brewer had there coming off the top of that scaffolding.
Yeah, it's looked like he's hit down on the white and sort of miscued that a bit.
Well, this is no easy shot. I mean, I can't stand all the rest and things like that, but
not only has he missed the ball, but he's also left that pocket open. So there's that red below there's two reds below the middle pocket on the right hand side, and the bottom one of those, if he needs to, he can knock that into that corner pocket now, almost without disturbing the black.
Well, Conway has missed the red into the centre, and Izzy left the black for Brewer.
I cannot believe he's taken
Open
that ball,
snooker.
Tony. I was just going to say Raymond will relish this opportunity. I thought he'd take the long red into the top right-hand corner, a red into the back inside the black, and all the balls are there. He can sit there and laugh as much as he likes, but in the end, I will take Keith right here to pot this.
Well, all Brewer should have to do now is he's going to come off the side rail. He's make contact with his black and it'll be in. And there you see he just wants to play across.
30 seconds.
Just wants to send a cue ball in this sort of line here. Straight across to the black.
Just using the new cloth, the new tables, he's just got to allow for a bit of slide off here. That's the only thing that makes this shot a little bit more difficult.
But Brewer could have missed this.
I think he's got it.
Oh, he's hit it.
He's hit it. He's hit it.
He's covered the pocket now as well. He's promoted it into a better position. And we've just seen how nervous Conway is. When that cue ball came along, Alec, I thought he was going to miss that. You see the slide off the rail, the brand new table, you do get a slide off these cushions. There you see it's coming down to the bottom, and I thought for a split second, wasn't even going to hit the black.
Yeah, when it catches that cushion, it just turns into running side, and look at that shot. He's gone for the snooker up top and hasn't hit it hard enough.
I think Keith can see this.
Yeah, he may be able to hit that.
And there you see, what Brewer will be worried about is not contacting the black on the way down and hitting the knuckle and hitting it back up the backside of it.
Going back to what you're talking about, the cushions, I did hear some of the England boys, the ones that haven't been out there on the match table, heard them talking about that exact same thing, you know, how the ball reacts off the cushions.
Well, that's just
30
common knowledge
seconds.
to the top players about playing on new cloths. That's the advantage of playing on beautiful tables.
Well, Brewer can just get through. And it looks good. And unbelievably manages to stay out, but
He's missed the red by a fair amount, but just to make sure, obviously, if the table just drifted a bit, he wouldn't want to clip that red. But he's still favourite. I mean, Ray hasn't played a suitable shot, really. Now he's got two reds in that corner, which are going to be tough to get away from the black. Now the pressure's right on. What's he going to come up with, Tony?
well, he's managed to pot his first ball, and if Conway could just get the cue ball into the middle of the table and get his hand there and just relax for a split second, the man can pop. He's playing the snooker. Well, he's got it, but Brewer, I wonder if he might play the swerve shot here.
No, single cushion, Tony. One cushion off the top rail. You back the top players to hit these.
Well, the reds are very close to the line of fire there. Well, Keith, if he does come to the top rail, it's got to be going in this path. They're bringing the cue ball all the way down to the black,
30 seconds.
which I'm trying to put it on the red.
He's playing,
He's playing the foul.
Foul. 2 visits.
It's a good shot there from Brewer.
Well, I don't agree, Tony. I think that's given Ray a lot more time to get his balls out of that bad area. He's got 2 visits now, and it's very easy to lay a snooker. You can't see Keith going for the black to try and get out of the snooker with the red there. He wouldn't go for it when it was clear.
A lot of chalk flew off his tip there as he hit that shot, Conway. Well, he's got his 2 visits, but he's got an awful lot of work to do.
Can't really think that he's trying to think he's going to finish this at 1 visit. Really don't, but it was certainly an aggressive pot there. As you say, the chalk flew off the end of the tip. He certainly hit it hard. I'm not quite sure what he's playing for here.
Well, Raymond Conway's one of those sort of
30
players you
seconds.
can't predict what he's going to do next. He's not made the double.
Second visit.
He's got an easy snooker though. He can just kick one of these reds out, the one at the bottom of the table, leave Brewer behind the other red.
He's got all day, really, Tony. He's just going to wait for his opportunities here. A very easy snooker, just to nudge the red out.
It's not touching.
Just confirming with the referee, Steve Brooker, there, the red isn't touching the rail, so he can just dolly the red off and leave the cue ball there in the snooker.
Brewer thinking about pushing the red right on top of the black ball, making it very, very hard indeed then for Conway to get that ball out of the jaws. He's not going to attempt to try and hit this. And there you see Brewer wants to put this right on top of the black.
2 visits.
It's a great judge of pace there, Tony. That makes it very difficult to get that out now. So obviously the plan here is for Ray to try and pot all his balls with 2 visits and leave the white in a good position, basically where it is now, to try and get it out with 1 and then get on at the next shot.
Conway's going to have a go. He wants to be down the bottom of the table to keep the red away.
He doesn't have to have a go. He can put this over the pocket. He's got options, is what I'm trying to say. He doesn't have to have a go right now.
But knowing Ray Conway very well, he is going to have a go. That's a good pot. Now what Conway wants to do now is just drop this in gently. He's going to have to come off the right-hand side railing, flick the red out. I think it's an appropriate shot to try and get it here. You've got to be very careful with the cue, but he could knock the black in. Oh, how well has he played that?
What about the red?
Oh,
The cue ball in.
unbelievable bad luck there from Conway.
2 visits.
Well,
Time running.
You can only laugh there, Tony.
well, devastation that is for Northern Ireland. Brewer with a simple black, and down it goes.
Right.
And England now lead by 5 frames to 1. Looking like a familiar story.
Tell you what, Tony, I'd like to see that shot again, because I wants to use that one day.
Double X on there. I told her already I don't want it.
Well, Raymond Conway can consider himself very unlucky indeed.
Double X was not going to put.
And unfortunately, Lady Luck doesn't appear to be smiling down on the Irish at the moment, Tony.
Well, that's right, to coin a phrase, the luck of the Irish is just not happening. Well, Gareth Potts for England. And D. Irwin for Northern Ireland. Potts there just inspecting the pack. Has a little stretch. And he can come in a nice confident mood. His team's 5-1 up. Bit of break dancing. Well, that's a tremendous break off.
2 yellows, Tony. 1 in the middle. 3 yellows. 2 yellows in the bottom right hand, 1 in the middle.
Well, he's going to take the yellows. It's the black ball that's going to be the only problem. Look at it. Do you see the way the cue bent into the cloth on the break? Incredible. Well, that's the best break-off we've seen in this match.
Yellow ball's in play.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen some of the photos, Tony, that have been going around. That there was one of Gareth Potts there, and his cue was significantly bent on the break shot.
Well, will that black ball
30 seconds.
pass into the bottom right-hand corner? If not, he'll have to go into the bottom left. And that's his only hurdle. And Potts seems to play well in these World Team Finals. When we played them, my Irish team, last year in the final, Potts broke and went out twice against us.
He's got a good angle here on that yellow, Tony, if he wanted bottom left-hand corner, if he wanted to try and pot that in the corner and screw into the black. But he's just going to need a result. See, I don't think the black goes in either pocket, Tony.
And it's very close indeed to the red, and he's going to have to develop it. And like you said, Alec, you can play the yellow at the bottom of the table now and screw into red and black.
And I think he was actually looking at that black then there, weighing up to see whether it will go into that bottom left-hand corner.
30 seconds.
Well, he's opting to play the ball in the middle. Well, we tried to nudge it then, but he's got another angle again.
He's ended up very lucky on another chance to play that shot.
Well, I'll tell you what he's going to do. He wants to play, obviously, this yellow down the bottom here, try and screw into the black and kick it out into open space.
The only danger of that is he could end up behind either the black or the red that's just immediately above the black. He's going to play this with some power and hope for a little bit of lady luck again.
There you see he's just looking at the angle where he's going to kick the black. Keeble then could maybe just part those two reds out the way. He could land on the
30 seconds.
yellow in the top corner and he'll be perfect on his finish.
He's going to have to be careful though, because remember what happened with Danny's shot when it just jumped out of the back of the pocket.
Well, he tried to kick it out, he's missed it completely, and now he's got an awful lot of work to do.
All I can think of here, Tony, he's going to have to pot the yellow and come up the inside of the right-hand side of the table. He's going to have two options. He's going to either have a double into the bottom right-hand corner, or if he comes a little bit too far, he can play the black off the red that's sitting left-hand side of the table.
Well, that's what he was looking at.
30
He
seconds.
was looking at the black off the red. You saw him line it up.
But this is the shot here. If he can get right behind it, it'll make the shot so much easier. He's really got to judge the screw on this shot.
Well, I'm not sure he wanted to come in at this angle. And he's landed at the wrong side of the table. And now he doesn't have much of a shot.
Well, he's actually got nothing. Yeah, I can't see anything here. I can't see him even fluking it anywhere. If he just belts it, it's just going to... I can only see it going straight across the table. And I think he's in trouble.
Well, he's looking at all sorts of permutations here. He's looking at trying playing the black into the right-hand rail and bringing it back across. But I think the red's in the way, like you said, Alex.
Yeah.
It just wonders how close that red is to the black.
I think it's almost touching. We viewed that before. I think it's just about on it. So it doesn't allow any angles at all.
No, that's right. It's nearly touching the red. Well, he's tried to play a safety there as Gareth Potts. He
Red
tried
ball's in play.
to stick the cue ball beyond the red at the bottom and not leave a shot for D. Irwin, but Irwin's out of his chair. Gets his first feel of the table. Not been presented with an easy shot to start off with, though.
Well, that's the problem, Tony. He's been stood there now watching, thinking that he's probably not even going to get a shot, and now he's got to try and get out there and pull a good one out straight off.
Well, that's bad thinking, that, because you should always believe you're going to get a shot. You've never gone. I mean, the black was always safe, and Gareth had to play a good shot and didn't
30
come up with
seconds.
it. So I don't think he was sitting there waiting for Gareth to pot out.
Well, he's not left a snook. He's just left a double now for Gareth Potts. This black will go off the side rail and back into the middle pocket.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, there just shows how tough it is out there on, you know, for a player that hasn't been out there before. He has misjudged that by a long way.
Well, this black now for 6-1. It's a tough one. And he's missed it. And Irwin's going to get a second bite at the cherry. Can he get through to the red in the centre?
Gareth looking a bit bemused there. He was a long way out with that. And that's what I was saying about that slide. Gareth's not one of the players who's been out there.
There you see the red goes in the middle pocket, just going to run this in. And this is a great chance for Irwin. But he must be absolutely probably the most nervous player in the Northern Ireland team. He's very nervous in the qualifiers in some of the matches. So your guess is as good as mine how bad he must be feeling out there now, but pot that one with a fair bit of confidence.
Yeah, I think with every ball, Tony, he's going to get that little bit more confident here.
Well, it really doesn't get any easier than this. If he's not happy now, I don't know what he wants. He's just got to keep his head, do all the basics, stay down over the shot, cue through, and just be positive, be confident out there.
Well, he's in good position. He's got nothing in his way. He's got to select the right order in taking these reds out. And do ever Northern Ireland need this frame?
I think if he does take this frame, you will hear some volume in this arena again. The Irish have been very quiet, and obviously England have kept them quiet by taking such a commanding lead. But they're not looking too confident there.
Yeah, Raymond Conway and Ronan McCarthy there. Just discussing which way D. Irwin's going to take out these reds. And That's a decent shot. Plays the red now to the right of the black. Gets rid of the one on the rail after that. And the last red he'll be playing into that left-hand centre, which should give him easy position onto the black and his top right where these two reds will be going.
Yeah, he's just showing a bit of composure. He's taking his time. He's not rushing at all. You've seen some of the others just sort of get down and sort of, you know, not really think about the shots. You know, they've got plenty of time. They've got a minute. And I don't think I've heard the South African timekeeper call
30
1
seconds.
minute, 30 seconds rather. The last couple of frames.
Doesn't like it. He's looking at the clock again.
Well, it doesn't get any easier.
Well, I can tell you that when we played Northern Ireland, I played the Irwin, and we didn't have the stopwatch on then. And I'll tell you what, he had one ball in the black against me, and it took him, I'm not joking, 5 minutes nearly to pot it.
That's unbelievable, Tony.
He kept getting down, getting back up, going back to his chair, wiping his cue. Unbelievable. And he did apologise afterwards. He said, I'm just so nervous. So,
well, he's overhit
He's
that.
overcooked it, but it will still go into the top left-hand pocket.
well, that's just unbelievable to overhit it by that much. I mean, he likes to take his time, admittedly, but he rushed that one and completely lost the cue ball.
Now this is a huge shot for Northern Ireland. This could be make or break time for their team.
Hang on. No. Oh, dear.
Why on earth did he play it at that pace?
Well, he wanted to get the white off the cushion, Tony, to make the black easier. But if the white was on the cushion, it would only been a struggle.
Time out.
We just hear the referee call timeout. And Gareth Potts wants the black ball cleaned. He's obviously seen a mark on it. Maybe he's hoping Steve Brook has made a mistake where he's marked and he's got the black a bit straighter. This ball now for 6-1. Down goes the black and Potts wins. England now storm into a 6-1 lead.
Okay, both teams going for their mid-session interval. It's been something of a nightmare for Northern Ireland at the moment, trailing England by 6 frames to 1. It's a tough school out there, isn't it, Joe?
Very tough for Northern Ireland. Quite frankly, with the mistakes that they've made and positions missed, you really can't. I really can't see them coming back either.
The trouble being, it's not like an individual match where you get time at the table. I mean, these players, Ronan McCarthy, for example, the captain, he didn't get one shot, and that's your frame gone.
And that's one frame down, and you've got the less experienced Northern Ireland players coming in and trying to make some ground, but you can see it's their first experience here on TV and in a big match situation. Race to 8. Very tough.
Absolutely indeed. Well, they'll come back out, no doubt, and try and do their best. England only 2 frames away from taking this title for the 6th consecutive year. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the team final between England and Northern Ireland. England look to be running away with it. Can they keep up the momentum? Let's rejoin the action.
Was Lee Clough for England, shaking hands with Ronan McCarthy from Northern Ireland. Frame number 8. Northern Ireland are trailing by 6 frames to 1. This World Team Final.
He's got a couple of balls.
Red and yellow
there,
balls
Tony,
potted.
and remember, this is his first shot this match because he didn't get a shot in the first visit.
No, he played Jason Twist in the first session, and the tornado twist finished from the break. There's an opportunity now for Ronan McCarthy to do exactly the same back, but to a different opponent.
Well, neither balls look very easy here, Tony, from this position. A little bit of work to be done on reds
30
or yellows.
seconds.
Yellow ball's in play.
McCarthy quick to nominate the yellows. And it's hung.
Red ball's in play.
Well, because he made a yellow off the break. Luckily for Ronan. He's on yellow balls. Now Lee Clough gets his first taste of the action. Nicknamed the Horse. That's because it's quite amusing actually. His manager, Dave Chalmers, he comes to all the tournaments, and every time he walks in the arena, he always says, "How's my racehorse doing?" And that's how he got that nickname.
30 seconds.
Lee's another one of these England players that's come to prominence over the last 2 or 3 years. He was a very steady county player, came back into the tour, and this year as his first year on the tour this year, and he's also made the England side. So, and he's an excellent player. Seen him play on quite a number of occasions in our regional tournaments.
Well, he's a local lad. He lives here in Blackpool, so he'll have plenty of home support for him.
30 seconds.
There's one good shot here, Tony, which he's played very well there. He's going to give himself a chance here at the pot out. He puts his ball on the bottom rail here into the left-hand corner. He may choose to break the black out, but I don't know about that. He's going to have to punch it in pretty hard for that, but he's certainly got an opportunity anyway.
Well, a big shot if he could pot that red and not the black out. I think it might just choose to roll it in softly and try and hold on the red. It's in the centre of the table.
30 seconds.
Remembering how quick this table is, Tony, I don't think it's that tough a shot.
He has got quite a bit of an angle here as well.
Missed the pot by a fair distance there, Clough. He won't be pleased with himself there. We'll have another look at it. Just overcut it along the rail.
No, I think he's hit it thick, Tony. He hit it into the rail.
Now, do those two yellows plant into the middle? That's the question here, because if they don't, Roland's just made a little bit of a basic mistake there on his position. No, as you see there, they don't.
That's right, he's still got a fair bit of work to do here, McCarthy. He went for the long yellow in the corner. He's missed it by a long way.
Wow, look at what he's left in there. That's, I mean, even if he'd got that ball, it still was no certainty on the out. So you can just see the difference in class between these two teams here. You know, the English have got the safety in mind, and the Northern Ireland are really just attacking these balls with no defence in mind at all. McCarthy, one of the most experienced players. He's played plenty of televised tournaments, so he knows what the arenas are like. That's a handy little kiss there for Clough. Move the black into open play.
Yeah, he's got an angle, nice angle here to get back up the table for the both reds into the top right-hand corner. And this could be a winning debut here for Lee Clough in his first team championship final.
Took his time with that one, and he's got the cue ball up far enough now. Just wants to pop the red that's nearest the bag first and just screw back for the last one, and the black will be simple.
So the cue ball just seemed to move a little bit there as it went up the table. It's probably gone over a finger mark. So what you can see happen to, particularly on this table, you get the finger marks on the table, and as the cue ball comes to rest, it does move a little bit.
But also they're rolling into the net. It's rolling against the flow of the cloth, which makes it move away as well sometimes.
Well, just the simple stuff now for Lee Clough. Just cuts this red in the top right-hand corner, and the cue ball will naturally come down the table off that top rail. Leaving himself an easy black into the bottom left-hand corner. And this will put England just one frame away from retaining their world title.
He's hit it on the fine side, which then makes it travel even further. He's hit that pot tone into the side of the pocket, like the fine half of the ball, and that's what made it travel so much further up the table.
Yes, he hit it too thin.
That's what I'm trying to say, Tony.
Well, Lee Clough. An unforced error there. See what he's looking at. He's looking at bringing the cue ball off the side rail and shunting into that 8 ball. Going to bring it twice across into the other bottom corner, but
see, the other opportunity he's got here, Tony, is if he's trying to take his life in his hands a little bit, he could try and play on it, drop on it dead weight, and leave Ronan snookered on those 3 yellows in the middle of the table and the one over the bottom right. Leaving him with the only shot would be up the table.
Foul.
well, he certainly didn't want to do that, and he
2 visits.
didn't try to put it over there.
I think he was trying to play the shot you suggested there, Tony. Let's shunt it across and maybe even double it back into the other corner, left corner.
Well, it's 2 visits now for Ronan McCarthy. And that yellow wiped his feet, but it's in. An old stone face himself, Ronan. Northern Ireland could be pinching one back here. He's perfect now on his second to last yellow into this bottom left-hand corner. Just going to drag the cue ball back a couple of inches. And now the simple stuff just remaining for McCarthy. Well, McCarthy's now left with the simplest of black balls. He's going to give something for the Irish to cheer about. Down it goes. And there you've seen the Northern Ireland fans are happy. McCarthy goes back to his side of the room with 1 on the scoreboard. England still lead, though, by 6 frames to 2.
As you heard the volume go up a little bit there, Tony, with that Irish victory in that frame. They might just lift the spirits a little bit, that now. But you're looking at the Irish team sheet, they have loaded the all the big guns at the front again. So if they were to pinch even the next couple of frames, it would still leave some very good England players to come, and some of the, if you like, lesser known Irish players.
Well, here we look at McCarthy's last yellow. An easy black into the corner. McCarthy having a bit of a yawn there. Must have tied him out, potting those balls.
9th frame, England to break, leading by 6 frames to 2.
Well, Jason Twist against Sam Newell. And it's a tactical decision to put Twist in second to keep him with the break. He broke and finished his first one. Yellow ball's gone in the centre.
It's
Yellow ball potted.
A nice split there, Tony. That yellow disappearing into the middle. Just trying to look at these balls now, what he'd be looking at. I think possibly reds look like the ball.
Exactly right, Sean.
Red ball's nominated. Time out.
Well, Alec, you're captain of Australia, and you can see the tactic that England have used here by putting Twist in second and keeping him with the break.
Yeah,
Time
well, he's
running.
just got the experience on these tables, hasn't he? He's been playing in the singles
30
events,
seconds.
and he's really onto it. And why wouldn't you? He's potted out the first frame,
Red ball's in play.
and why wouldn't you give him the opportunity to do it again?
Well, it's strange though, Alec. Jason's actually been having a little bit of trouble this week with his break shot, making a ball. He's been breaking the balls nicely, but just not getting one off the break. And so he has struggled, but I think that first one may have given him a bit of a confidence booster in the first session. And you wouldn't bet against him going out here in this frame.
Well, it's 2 out of 2 in this one, Sean.
Lovely control with the cue ball there from Twist. The thing is now his cue ball control is he bound to be taking the red up into the top right hand corner. He wants to bounce the cue ball off the yellow that's next to the red. And he just wants to see where he has to land. He's going to be Tempted to play the red down at the bottom of the table after this one. Gets on that and the frame's all over. Don't forget Samuel for Northern Ireland. In his first game, he won from the break as well.
That's a good shot there, Tony. He's just going to pot this one here, stun the white still. Oh, yeah. Got a bit of angle there, but that's fine. Just get back over the one in the centre, then the other red into the other centre, and basically roll ins.
Well, Twist won't make the same mistake as Lee Clough. And now this is the easy stuff now for Twist to do. And England are now going to be one frame away from the title. Down goes the 8 ball, and Jason Twist clears up again from the break. 2 out of 2 for him. And England now lead by 7 frames to 2.
Too easy for someone with that much experience. Just out there, loves it. Loves being out there in these situations.
Jason picked up the pace there. Last 2 or 3 balls disappeared in very rapid succession.
Well, it's Phil Harrison from England versus Danny Kinney from Northern Ireland. It's going to be Kinney to break.
10th frame.
Phil Harrison never had a shot in his
break,
first game.
trailing by 7 frames to 2.
Samuel put him to the sword from the break. And it's Kinney to break. And Northern Ireland now need every single frame. And see Kinney using an American break cue there.
Yellow ball potted.
As he searches for his own cue, he can't find it. Unbelievable. I hope he doesn't draw the short cue. Somebody's took it down the pub.
Well, he's just wasted 20 seconds. That's what you call prepared, isn't it? Now, what am I on again?
Well, very funny moment there for Danny Kinney.
Yellow ball's in play.
Caught in a bit of arena cue turmoil. Well, that's unbelievable. I thought that yellow was going to drop in.
Well, that's how prepared he was. He didn't even have his cue. You take on a shot like that, you know, it's you can't afford them.
Well, maybe he has picked up the wrong one, and that's why he's missed it.
Go back to his break cue, maybe. He got one off that one.
Well, it's Phil Harrison now on the red balls. It's his first visit to the table in this final. Samuel broken finished against him in the first
30 seconds.
game, and Phil Harrison tempted to go downstairs.
And again, Phil's one of these players that's not been out there this week, so this is his first opportunity on the match table, and it's just gauging the pace under those TV lights as to how the balls react.
Well, he's covered up that bottom right-hand corner. So Kinney has got it all to do. It's up to him to try and keep Northern Ireland batting.
I think the England game plan now is just wait for your opportunity. You don't have to force anything. You only need one more
30
frame.
seconds.
Put the pressure on Northern Ireland and wait for them to fold, basically. Phil's only got one trouble ball, and that's the red on the left-hand rail. And we'll just wait and see. I think he's happy to sit and wait.
I think what Danny Kinney's looking at doing here is putting this the top of those 3 yellows, the yellow into the middle, and maybe trying to nudge the other one across towards the right-hand corner bag and try and tie that bag up, maybe.
I don't think he'll be putting it in the middle. Oh, what a great shot that was. That was a good shot.
Super shot from Danny Kinney.
Opened up the black and he stayed on the red, knocked the red out of the way for the yellow in the middle.
There, see it again, look. Held on the 2 yellows in the bottom. Going to play this into the centre again. Cues up in the air a bit. A great shot again. And this is a brilliant finish for Danny Kinney, should he get them. Just a bit close to his work here. They shouldn't have any problem. Well, I'll tell you what, it looked like he double hit that.
How interesting, Tony. You called that just about already over when the scoreboard is putting so much pressure on these players. You know, the Northern Ireland are 7-2 down. Nothing is easy out there. They couldn't do it before, Now with the scoreboard pressure on, it's making it even tougher. And there's the Phil Harrison just waiting for his opportunity as it looks like it's going to come.
Well, he's going off the bottom
30
rail and back
seconds.
up. Oh, that's
Foul.
nowhere near for
Two
Kinney,
visits.
and 2 visits now for Harrison. The only slight consolation is he's put Harrison's red safe top right-hand side of the table. But you feel that Harrison should be able to take these out and just use his spare visit to develop that bad ball. And those great shots earlier in this clearance have all gone to waste for Danny Kinney.
Thirty seconds.
And what on earth was Harrison doing there?
Second
He
visit.
missed that by miles.
Yeah, he's played that with side, Tony, and hasn't allowed by the look of it. He wanted to get onto that tough ball next.
Just not used to the table. And Kinney might get a reprieve just yet.
I think he'll certainly get a visit. I don't know what he'll have to play. Phil's got a snooker him on this yellow that's hanging right there in the corner.
He's played a very clever shot there. Trying to lay the snooker, but also kicking the red over that bottom right-hand corner.
A smile and a shake of the head there from Phil. He realised he had sort of half a chance there, and it all went pear-shaped right from the off.
Us Aussies love them the mandatory shake of the heads.
He's got it, I think.
He's lucky to hit the cushion there because it would have been a foul. So, yeah, there you go.
Well, how's Harrison got a big pocket to play the double Willie's awkward red into the left-hand centre. Don't think you get past the other red though, the one that's bang in the middle of the table. He wants to avoid leaving Kinney a clear shot at these yellows because
30 seconds.
definitely will attack him and try and double that black.
I can only see Phil just maybe promoting that red on the side, left side rail. Maybe try and get it in front of the yellow or block it up. Maybe cramp it a bit. Yes.
Great shot there from Harrison.
It's a good shot, but Danny's got a chance here. He could take that ball in the top right-hand pocket and screw back down the table.
No, I don't believe he'll open that pocket up. He's got a bit of control down there. I can't see him opening that red up down in that corner. He's really just got to promote the yellow over the centre pocket, make it potable.
30 seconds.
He's looking at kicking it away off the rail here, I think. Again, it's a dangerous shot. He's going to have to make sure he hits this firm so that the ball reaches a cushion. Oh.
Well, Danny Kinney, he was trying to wedge the yellow ball in behind the reds down there, but I kicked one out.
I think he's trying for a result just to try and get the black on, because he's moved one of the reds, but he had to move the other red to open up the hole for the black.
Still desperate times for Kinney.
Does Phil now look at promoting that ball to the top right-hand side of the red top right-hand side of the table here? It looks like he's going to do that. Leave him snookered. Yeah, which he's done, possibly. Might just be able to get past the black, I don't know. From this angle, it looks very tight.
I think you might be able to see the thin edge.
Total snooker.
Let's give it a total snooker.
Camera didn't quite give us the angle there, but yeah, looking at that ball, it certainly looks like a total.
Foul.
And he's given away the foul as Danny Kinney should have been able to hit his yellow there. And now it's 2 visits for Harrison. And this will be to win the world title for England. What a moment for Phil Harrison.
And Phil knows this is his big opportunity right here for the England team. He will take his time and make sure of these balls.
he's played that pretty well.
Well, it's basically a good result, I think. That's not what I think what he wanted.
No, I think he was playing for the ball in the middle here. You probably take the balls that are in the top half of the table first.
Well, Harrison playing the plant. Sooner or later he's going to have to attack that awkward red top right of the table.
Do you think he'll use the red in the top left-hand corner, Tony, to maybe get an angle on that and run around and kick that other red out, or just use the extra shot on it, double it over, put it over the hole, and ABC?
You know, I don't really think he needs to kick it out. He just uses two, set it up, but you never know. If he does kick this ball out on the right-hand rail, as long as he doesn't play it too hard, he's going to land on the red into the left-hand centre. If he gets right behind it.
Yeah, good shot there by Phil. There was a no-risk shot, Tony. He wasn't going to miss the pot. He didn't hit it too hard. There was no risk at all there, really.
Well, that's a killer blow now for Northern Ireland.
It looks all basic stuff from here for Phil. Just 3 almost roll-ins, if you like. And that will be it. They'll all be shaking hands again.
Well, he just wants to pot this red down in the bottom corner. Screw the cue ball up the top of the table. Plays last red into the right-hand centre. He's left that short.
Well, he's going to have to waste one anyway, Tony, so it didn't matter they kicked that ball out before, because he's just going to have to waste one now.
He's still got the 2 visits. Harrison's heart must be beating fairly rapidly now.
He's gone a bit wide on that, Tony. He might have to belt this and try and get the white up and back to get for the black in the middle. If he tried to hold it where the players have been caught out all the time with the pace.
Time out.
How funny how it's just turned around all of a sudden.
Not only that, he's going to have to use the rest for this shot, which Phil's not with the biggest of players.
Time running.
And it just makes that shot that little bit more difficult for him.
Well, he's not the tallest man in the world, Phil Harrison. So he would have to use the rest. And this is not an easy shot. And he's flapped to that completely. And nearly went in off, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. And that's unbelievable, he's left the cue ball.
Phil, when he had that shot on the double, he really just had to get it halfway across the table, and he would have had a straight shot. He didn't need to pot the ball. That was where he's gone wrong, I feel.
Yeah, I think Phil's always a positive player, quite an attacking player, you know, when he gets the balls there. And I think he just, I don't know, he just, obviously he's thought, I know what I can do this, and I want to take the title home for England.
Well, he still could have did it with the extra shot in place.
Where's the cue ball going?
Can you believe that?
Well, look how close he landed to it, but he's been very fortunate there, Kenny, in this black to keep Ireland alive, and it's in. Northern Ireland pull a frame back. Still in the match, Danny Kinney walks away smiling. It's now England 7, Northern Ireland 3.
Well, that should have been all over for Northern Ireland, with Phil Harrison missing up that chance. And in my books, anything that happens from now, any luck that Northern Ireland get, it's the fault of the English team in the end, because they've had their opportunity to win the match.
Oh, Danny Kinney, fortunate man to get back to the table. He's jabbed that black in.
He certainly played a get out of jail free card there, Danny Kinney. So there we go, it's Karl Boys to break off in this frame for England.
Karl Boys, a new boy for England, versus Gary Clark from Northern Ireland. And what a moment for Karl Boys.
11th frame, England to break.
Harrison didn't want to take the trophy as Gary Clark looks on.
Karl was probably almost happy to have the opportunity to win the world title for England. Not wishing Phil would lose, of course, but an opportunity like this does not come along every day.
He's made a red there in the top left-hand pocket. don't look to be sitting too widespread on the right-hand side of the table. There's a lot of balls there. He's going to have to pick his way through here.
Yellow balls nominated.
Well, Karl Boyce has nominated the yellows. Again, the balls are pretty open.
seconds.
Yellow balls in play.
A decent pot there. The yellows are open. I'll tell you what, Karl Boyce is looking pretty steady indeed, but his head was having a bit of a shake there. And that was a bit of a nervy shot, wasn't it, Alec?
Yeah, interesting way to go. I don't know why he chose the top spin there, but that shot, the left-hand yellow in the middle pocket is not that easy. From here, it doesn't look that easy. He's just looked at the angle. He can't be hitting these hard. He's played that well. He's come down to basically the one shot on the right-hand rail. That's the interesting ball, Tony. That's the only tough ball he's got left. He's just got to make position on the rest. He's going to have to play it next after this ball, roll this yellow into the centre, and just have a nice, just off straight shot.
Well, Karl Boyce, now he's on his awkward yellow. You have to drag the cue ball back past this red.
No, he's going to stun out, straight out. Ah, well picked, Tony. Nearly gone in off there in the centre, though.
He's not landed ideal, is he?
All of a sudden, how does he link up to the other yellow? Maybe it goes back in the centre. He could just screw straight up to the top of the table.
I think he was trying to stun straight into the red there and move the red out of the way. He didn't want to come back anywhere near there.
Well, Boyce can cut the yellow into the right-hand centre and try and nudge the red away from the black. But the danger is if he does make this cut, the cue ball can hit that red next to the black and slide behind the other red that's just above it. He's got the yellow, he's on the black, and now he's got a great chance. Karl Boyce's moment has arrived. This black to win the world team title. And in it goes, and England are victorious. Karl Boyce pots the winning black. England have beaten Northern Ireland by 8 frames to 3.
What a great moment for young Karl Boyce there, clinching the winning frame for England yet again. That's the 6th time in 6 years they have won this championship. Can anybody stop them, Joe?
They can on their year, but unfortunately it wasn't this year. Northern Ireland had their opportunities in the first 7 frames, but they just couldn't capitalise, and then it was only a matter of time before England got over the line.
You know, was it always going to be an England victory?
Against Northern Ireland, I think most people would have picked England from the start, yes.
What does a team need to do if they're to compete with England in years to come?
They need to be very focused. I think they need the crowd behind them, which most teams would probably have. And they need to have that competitive edge during the year as well. The thing with England is that they're playing this level of competition all year round, whereas the other countries, they don't get as much of the exposure to playing top players all year round.
How far are Australia from competing with England?
Well, this year were great signs. They only went down 11-10 in the final, and they were second in the round robin. And we were very pleased with their performance. The fact that, as I said earlier, that they had been out of it for the last 3 years. We hadn't made the finals for 3 years.
I mean, before England, it was Wales, wasn't it? But Wales have won it twice, you've won it once, and it's just been England all the way. And, you know, if you're talking about that talent in depth, it seems it's going to carry on for a few years yet.
Well, unfortunately, I must say yes. They do have the goods here, and as I say, they do have the top-level competition week in, week out. And,
OK, well, Anna Hughes is in the arena, ready to introduce a presentation party, so let's go and join him.
Gentlemen, will you now welcome, please, the presentation party consisting of George Harwood, our tournament director, and our special guest, the 11-time world darts champion, Phil Taylor. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, our commiserations go to Northern Ireland, but once again, it's for the 9th time the successful team in this year's World Team Championship goes to Team England. Team England, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Ellis and Lee Kendall. And ladies and gentlemen, one more time, please, for Team Northern Ireland. Thank you very much indeed.
Commiserations to Northern Ireland, but England are the 888.com World Team Champions of 2004. From all of us here in Blackpool, goodbye.